So you can find all you need in the plumbing aisle at your local home improvement store. You can see right here, we're going to get 3/4 inch pipe. We already got the pre-cut pieces here. I find that those are just about the right size for our purposes. And then of course we're going to need elbows. So we've got the bags usually of 3/4 elbows. I don't see any bags, but here's the 3/4 inch elbows, 71 cents a piece. And then we get the glue, and usually I just get the regular clear $7.45 for a bottle. And if you need them, they usually have PVC cutters around, like these right here. Usually I have a set in the toolbox, so I'm not going to buy a set of those today. We'll go home and show you how to do it. So, $26.56 for everything we need. Okay, so now we're back at home, and we're going to work on making this bed handle. So what I have is I have 5 3/4 inch pre-cut sticks of PVC pipe. Of course, if you're trying to save money, you can buy more, but you're probably only going to make one bed handle. Maybe if both of your parents are alive and they sleep on opposite sides of the bed or in 2 separate beds, then maybe you're going to make 2 bed handles. In that case, they sell this stuff in 8-foot lengths. These are 2-foot segments. So obviously there's one stick right there. I've never really compared it. I usually, when I'm doing home health care and I make these for a lot of my patients, I usually get a lot of these. Not these, but the 8-foot sticks, and then I cut them myself, which this is my PVC cutter. It comes in very handy. I actually use it for a couple different purposes. Typically, the other thing you're gonna have is the glue. Glue we purchased at the store. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elbows. And then a receipt and a customer service survey. Can't wait to do that. Hopefully I win $5,000. Never have, but I film out all the time. So one of the things that happens is, obviously, we're not plumbing contractors, but this is the smallest they sell the can. And you really don't need very much of this stuff. So unless you're handy and you got a toolbox in your car, which I usually do because I end up fixing a lot of wheelchairs and stuff like that around the home for my patients and clients. One of the things that I'd highly recommend, because the way that I'm going to show you to do this, you're going to need a pair of these. As you saw in the video, they're like $14. They're just PVC cutters. They're very simple to use, but one of the things that I do with them, if necessary, is I just use them for breaking the lid on the can open. Because what happens is the lid will get stuck from just repeatedly wiping the glue off, and then it gets real stuck. So you can just use the edge of these, the jaws of these, to actually open the can. For today's purposes, because I'm working in the kitchen at home, and my wife probably won't appreciate me putting glue all over the counter, which typically when I'm gluing these, I go outside of the patient or the client's home, because I don't want to get glue all over their furniture, their dog, their cat, carpeting, whatever. So I usually go outside in the driveway or something like that. That way I'm not making a mess out of anything. But I'm going to show you on a basic level how to do this, okay? So we're going to take our elbows, and I usually just start with 1 stick apiece, put an elbow on. It's the first place to start, all right? So we got 4 sticks with 4 elbows. Okay, now, this stick I am actually going to cut, but what we end up with is we end up with this. So we're going to join one together and have it at a right angle to the other one, right? So we got that. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Hold it upright and turn this one this way. Okay, now what we've got is we have 2 sides of this handle, right? So now let those lay down. This end is going to have an elbow at a 90-degree angle to this elbow. And it'll make sense once you start putting it together. It's a puzzle, and it only goes together right the one way correctly. I'm just gonna eyeball this. Typically, you've got two frames of thought here, okay? I only bought 5 sticks because I planned on actually cutting this in half and making a smaller handle, all right? You can use a whole stick if you want to, and essentially then the bed handle is gonna be this wide. If you think about this laying next to you at night on the bed, that's a lot of surface area there. And really what you're trying to do is not make it something that is in anybody's way, but is very visible and very likely for them to use it. Getting into bed, getting out of bed, repositioning themselves in bed, and things like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this in half. My wife's really good at eyeballing these things. I'm more of a tape measure kind of guy, but for the purposes of our video here, I'm just gonna cut this in half. Where I think it is. Pump it once, pump it twice, pump it 3 times, pump it 4 times, and there we go. Now, all of these joints, you would normally put some glue on there, okay? One of the things, not very good at that. One of the things that I have done in the past is take a little bit of sandpaper and rough up the edge to give the glue a little bit more surface area to bond to. I don't know if that's necessary. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And I don't know why I do or why I don't. So we're gonna take the one end of my poorly cut handle and the other end of my poorly cut handle. Now we're just gonna take this and flip it over. And flip it over like that. And boom, there we go. All right. So now what we've got is the piece that goes underneath the bed between the mattress and the box spring. And then we have this piece that's gonna stick up above the mattress. Now, in a lot of cases, the mattress obviously is not this tall, unless they're, you know, pillow top with a cushion on top of it and then an egg crate, you know, and then you've also got to figure that it needs to stick above the comforter and the bedspread and everything like that that's on top of the bed, because otherwise they're trying to tuck it down in there if they're making the bed, if they're still at that level where they're making the bed. So a lot of times I might actually just cut these off. I usually eyeball it. I'll take these pieces, I'll slide the thing in between the mattress and the box spring, and then I'll just cut it wherever it needs to be. That way it's not sticking, you know, ridiculously above the mattress. So we're gonna go look at it now in place on a mattress. All right, so here we go. We've got a standard bed. This is a platform bed that we've got in our guest room. We've got our prefabricated handle. We're gonna go ahead, all we do is just lift up the mattress. Now, if you can imagine, the platform is no different than if there was a box spring in here. Essentially, it's just the two surfaces coming together. They're gonna create that grip on that thing so it's not gonna slide around. So we're just gonna lift up on the mattress, slide the bed handle in there. Now, I like to keep it clear of the nightstand because a lot of times they got their chapstick and Kleenexes and telephone and, you know, everything else that goes into nesting in the bedroom. So I don't like it in the way of the nightstand. You know, if they're side sleepers, we want to get the arm out of the way. So if this is in the way, we don't want that in the way. So I usually like them about right here, just below where the pillows would be. It's usually a good position. If you can imagine, you know, in some cases their bedside commode may be over here, and then they're going to have their, you know, their rolling walker or rollator or whatever right here in front of them. So we got our nice little, what I call triangle of safety. In this case, if you remember, I didn't glue this one, so obviously it comes apart pretty easily. But you want to make sure that you glue them really good if people are going to use them. You can also see this is a Sleep Number bed. It's got a foamy on top of it, so it's very compliant. So in most cases, I probably wouldn't actually have the handle sticking up above about right here. All right. But the handle serves a lot of good purposes. So imagine, you know, lady or gentleman wants to go to bed, and we've all had these patients and clients that, you know, they go into bed and they do one of these deals. Well, it's a lot harder to get yourself up so you've got the handle to grab a hold of, right? Or they do one of these deals, and then they're trying to get their foot up on the bed, and then they're trying to get their other foot up on the bed. I'm a pretty healthy physically strong man, and it's very hard to get my left leg up on the bed right now. But if I have something like the bed handle to give me some sort of stability, then I can actually be more mobile and get myself into bed. Obviously, we can hold on to the handle, do a little bridge, get the buttocks over where it's supposed to be, and then we can get ourselves into a centered position, not sleeping like a slash mark on a keyboard or whatever, or starfishing. And then, of course, getting out of bed. We've got a good surface here. You can, I'm sure a lot of you've experienced, you know, the people that want to grab a hold of the seam on the mattress. There's just nothing to grab a hold of. I've seen people use a pincher grip to try to get a hold of that tiny little seam on the mattress and try to move their, 100, 200 pounds body weight around. It's just not going to work. But in this case, if this was glued together and, probably of a more appropriate height down here, they could get a hold of it. They could use it to position themselves back up sitting at the edge of the bed. Now, I mentioned about the handle being an appropriate height. We don't want it way down here by the mattress. And the reason I say that is this. If they're trying to get up in the middle of the night, having it way down here just pretty much means that when they go to push up, because we teach all of our patients to push up from the surface that they're sitting on. We don't want them grabbing their rolling walker and just tipping over backwards. If you have a bed handle that sticks up a little bit like this, then that's something that's non-compliant that they can push down on. You got one hand on the mattress and one hand on the handle here, and you can push down on it. So they get their hand on top of it. In this case, it's way up here. They get their hand up on top of it, and then they can stand up, and then they can get themselves situated with their walker before they head off to the bathroom. It really is a simple fix to a universal problem. I'm sure many of you know, and some of you might not that are watching this video, that more people fall in the bedroom than fall in the bathroom. It's because they're probably going to fall in the bathroom, but they just happened to fall in the bedroom before they got there. Most falls happen at night when people are getting up and going to the bathroom because they don't turn a light on. One of the things in this case, this lamp could easily be plugged into a motion switch. So whenever somebody rolls over into bed, the lamp comes on. Of course, my guests wouldn't really appreciate that, having a lamp just turn on whenever they roll over in bed if they spend the night here at our home. But, in some cases, that's actually a really good way to just make the bedroom safer. Make the light come on. There's nothing wrong with that. Then it can illuminate the path. Anything that we can do to make the bed, especially transfers in and out of bed, safer. The handle, promotes better positioning in bed. It promotes a lot of different things. And you can see, for $26.56, which, that's with me buying glue and I didn't even need glue. It's a really simple way to fix a universal problem that a lot of people have. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime. My contact information is on there. I plan on posting a lot more videos. Otherwise, go to my website, modified-independence.com. You can see my pricing and a lot of different services that the company offers. Follow me on Facebook, Modified Independence. Usually post a lot of the videos. Usually it's a rollover from my YouTube videos. A lot of interesting stuff, articles that come out, things like that. I'm also on LinkedIn, Modified Independence. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure, and follow me for the next video. Y'all take care.